This is a new one, and I just realized I'm wearing the same dress that I wore in the last video I did. Isn't that fun? I'll change. Not for you, but for later. I thought, well, let me get ready and let's talk a little bit. Because why not? And it's real. And I know people that are watching me for reselling content are like, what the hell? Does this have to do with anything? And that's okay. It has to do with motivating yourself and getting up and pushing forward even when you don't feel like it. That is sunscreen, because guess what? Colorado is a lot higher than Texas. And I keep looking at the wrong spot. Colorado, it's like hot, you know, hot in Texas. But in Colorado, you're like that much closer to the sun. I don't know if I have my science right, but it just makes your skin, even though it's not technically temperature as hot, when you're in the sun, it feels like you're being like crispy fried. So that's an interesting fun fact about Colorado, if you didn't know that already. And what I'm doing by getting ready with you is I want to show that even when you're going through rough times, and this is true for me, even when the shit hits the fan and things are like, feel like the worst possible it could be, I try not to give myself too long to be down, because it's a slippery slope. There was somebody I wish maybe you guys know. It was somebody that had like a serious disability, and I was watching, gosh, wish I could remember who it was. This makes me mad that I have this memory. Oh well. Anyway, but what they said was a big takeaway for me. They said, even when they're having a bad day, they want to feel sorry for themselves. They give themselves a set amount of time, 10, 15 minutes, whatever. And fine, feel sorry for yourself for this amount of time. And then you have to get up and move on. You can't waste your life feeling sorry for yourself. And I posted that video yesterday, just kind of catching up. And this is one of the reasons I just love the platform. I mean, there's the good, bad, and the ugly with YouTube. I get it. But one of the things that has been so powerful for me creating a channel, and which is why I suggest people do it if they're comfortable, you will learn so much about yourself and how strong you are. And they're not just even that, but just so many revelations about life, and because you really do get a slice of life talking to different people and hearing their different perspectives. And maybe something is said that, oh, I never thought of it that way before. Or maybe something is said is like, well, that's interesting, but that's not right for me. And so you start realizing the way people operate and the way they give advice and the way, like some of the advice or some of the things that were said in the comments, which came from, I believe, complete heart and love, didn't feel like it was right as far as what I was feeling, but it just made me realize that's true for that person. That's their experience. And maybe this is something that was like, oh yeah, duh, Margaret, that's super obvious. But like, I know I get that like on a verbal level, but when you start taking that in and having it sink in on a soul level, and it makes you see people in a whole new way, and the way they criticize you, or the way they praise you, or the way, how they interact with you. It's just been amazing, really. And it makes me look back to my, I don't want to say youth, but my younger years, where I would just take people's criticisms so much to heart. People, because sometimes I get funny and silly, and people would say I was immature, or they would like scoff at the things I enjoyed, or whatever it was. Here comes the this is the face changer right here. But it would just, the criticisms of the things I liked or what I wore, or, because I like to dress. I don't dress like everybody else. Generally, I, like to wear fun dresses and fun shoes, and yeah, it's fun for me. It makes me happy, right? And then when I would get criticisms about it, I would realize, it would really kind of take me, I would brush it off, of course, but of course inside it made me take a look at myself and think, oh, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? I remember feeling that a lot, like, why am I different? What's wrong with me? And then I realized now, I'm like, well, not just now, but you have flickers of it. You have flickers of realization, and then you go either back to the way you were, or you kind of shift a little bit towards the criticism so you don't feel not so normal, which is true. It happens. But then I come to realize the criticisms that I'm facing, or have, the things that say somebody would have said about what I was wearing, or how I dressed, or how I act. Now I'm like, oh, that poor person. I'm thinking of one particular example. This is why I keep going to the clothing thing. There was a woman I used to work with when I taught, and she was one of those people that you just knew, like, the second you walk out of the room, you're going to be the target of conversation. And for whatever reason, she was like the alpha female, and everyone was like Mean Girls, right? Everyone was just terrified to be on her bad side, but she was one of those, like, super nice to your face, and then behind your back was not. And she would criticize you to your face, but like try to like make it a joke, but it was like stinging, and I've known multiple people like this. It's just so gross. Hang on. I gotta find this stuff to rescue my eyes. And again, don't criticize me for liking to wear makeup, because this is something else I've grown into and I love it. Usually. It makes me feel better. Anyway, so she would say cutting things. I gotta get closer. My eyes aren't what they used to be, y'all. But then one day we were talking, this is before she and I had a huge falling out. Surprise, surprise. She told me that she would write on her calendar what she wore. She would like plan it out for like a month, which is fine for some people. But her reasoning was that she didn't want anybody to be able to say to her, didn't you wear that last week? Didn't you wear that? Like, and I was just like, now I want to write it down. It just like, that's where my mind went. Like, now I really just want to write down what you're wearing, as crazy as that sounds. I want to write it down. And when you wear the same thing, when you duplicate it finally, I can be like, didn't you wear that last month on Tuesday the 23rd? I never did it. But I was just like, dang, imagine having that much fear about what other people thought of you. And now I realized how it was at the time, but now looking back, I'm like, how deep was that? That her existence, was so wound up in what other people thought. I mean, to the point that she was that freaking critical. And so, like I said, I've known other people in my life that have been like that. And now I'm like, wow, how deep the pain and fear for that person of what other people are thinking or saying about them, to the point that they're like, I'm going to cut this off at the pass. I'm going to and they turn into what they fear, or maybe because they do it. Maybe because they do it, they think other people are doing it too. I don't know. The mind of people. I don't like to drink my coffee with the lid on usually because it's so hot. But I'm also worried that I'm going to spill it on the carpet. So yeah. Why did I come to that? Why was I thinking about that today? Oh yeah. I'm going to be meeting new people today. This is why. And I want to look nice. And I started thinking about that because there it's reminiscent of when I moved to Austin and started meeting new people and having those same fears of like, what are they going to think of me? You know, what are they going to make of me? Because coming from Houston to Austin, it seems like, oh, it's Texas. It's a big shift. I mean, Austin is a lot more granola crunchy, you know, and I was like Houston city girl that liked to, you know, wear her Doc Martens, and I wear black a lot, you know, and so that's kind of like the fear, a little bit of what I'm having, not fear so much, but just like, you know, you think about it. So I'm thinking about the new people I'm going to be meeting. I will know, I think 2 people there, because there are 2 people I met in Austin that actually moved here. And if you think Austin is granola crunchy, roll over bacon, we've got something leaner, and it's called Colorado. Colorado. So if you want to get crunchy, you come to the right place. However, I'm not like a crunchy granola girl. However, it is delicious. But that being said, I am going to be going, it's a group I've been invited to come hang out with. It's a homeschool group. And these 2 friends of mine that were homeschoolers in Austin are here, and they're in the group. And one of them messaged me and was like, hey, do you want to come to this? Hang out. The kids can hang out. We can hang out. I can introduce you to some new people. And it's like at a mountain. And they're going to be in the mountain by a stream, which I love. I love nature. I love the outdoors. Truly, I think I'm going to like it more here than in Texas. Only something bit me. They don't know what chiggers are here. I mentioned that to somebody, like, oh, that looks like chigger territory. And they're like, what's a chigger? Like, how to explain chiggers. If you don't know what a chigger is, they were like, do you mean a tick? I'm like, no, it's not a tick. But I think it behaves kind of like that. It's like a little teeny thing, bug, microscopic. I don't think you can see them. Can you see them? Anyway, they like to be in tall grass and like trails and stuff like that. Heat. And then they crawl up and they bury into your skin. They burrow into your skin. And they usually around your underwear line, like where your elastic is, your elastic of your underwear and your socks and stuff. Usually underwear is the worst though. And they itch like a mother. Anyway, chiggers are horrible. So, yeah. I'm going to be going to this today, and I'm excited, and I'm happy, and I'm like, ooh, I don't own any Patagonia. Sorry if I keep looking the wrong way because I'm getting ready. I don't own any Patagonia. I'm just going to wear what I wear, you know, and so be it. Yep, I've gotten to the age where I have to start drawing in my eyebrows a little bit. So, it'll be good, you know, because I get to meet some new people. And I don't, you know, yeah, I mean, the day may come, I'm sure it will, because I'm going to need clothing that adjusts to the place where I live. But I just want to go as myself. Happy Halloween. I'm going as me. And, you know, just try to be myself. As I spoke about yesterday, I have this, I don't want to call it social anxiety, but I do get a little, it takes a minute for people to get to know me, or for me to open up to let people know me. And I think my friend that has invited me, this is my super way of, I was trying to think of a makeup term, super makeup-y way to like take that down a notch. My friend that has invited me, I feel like she knows this side of me. She used to watch some of my merch videos. That's how I met her. Isn't that funny? So she, and I was so grateful. I really was. Because when I moved to Austin, when she introduced herself to me, she also homeschooled her kids. And she was like, yeah, I used to watch your merch video and print on demand stuff. And I was so grateful. My friend Mary's the same. I just realized that. Mary used to watch my videos too. And I think that kind of helped. Is that weird? I think it kind of helped because I'm like, okay. At first I was like, whoa, this is weird. And not weird that, I don't know how to describe it. Like somebody who knows you that you don't really know them, that knows stuff about you. But it ended up being really cool because I was almost able to relax, like eventually a lot quicker probably than I normally would have with people, because I was like, oh, okay, you already know. You know what's coming. Hang on. This is delicate work. Have you ever stabbed your own eyeball with your mascara? That's my you don't get the joys of hearing me say mascara. Maybe you do. Mascara, darlings. It's a lifesaver. I feel like whatever happened to Baby Jane, sometimes you can get your eyelashes just so and you're like, Betty Davis, you know? You gotta have fun with it. You gotta have fun with it. Anyway, so my friend that has invited me today, she knows the deal. I think she was actually one of the ones that introduced me to people in Austin as well. So was Mary, you know, because when she found out that I was going to be coming to Austin, she was like, oh my gosh, I know a homeschool group, you got to come, blah, blah, blah. And usually that would be my cue to be like, hell no. Just because I'm, you know, like I said, yes, I was talking in the video yesterday just about, I don't know how people are going to take me in real life. Okay, now for the hairs, but I'll have to not talk to you while I'm doing the hairs. Yeah, so I'm excited. I need to make like a line of outdoor wear for the aging ex-punk goth. Goth wasn't a word back then, by the way. Back in the day, back in the 80s, when there were punk rockers and new wavers, and there wasn't, like, goth wasn't a word then. What do we call people that were more on the goth new wave? They were, I mean, but there was like a mix of new wave. There was like dark new wave that liked Bauhaus, Bela Lugosi's Dead, that kind of thing, like dancing at numbers, all like, I don't know, I can't do it. When people take themselves too seriously, doesn't matter how, when, where, how, whatever. I'm just like, dude, have some fun with it. Yeah, so there's something for you entrepreneurs out there. If you want to make a line of outdoor gear that is, outdoor wear that is geared to the aging punk from the 80s, so that we can go out into the nature too and enjoy it and not feel like we're all covered in Colombia and Patagonia. Now we're talking. I'd buy it. I would buy it. Because I'm like, dude, I went into Colombia. My sister was looking for a shirt because she likes to wear those UV shirts. She's very good about that. And I was like, like Dracula going into a church. I can't. What am I going to do? I may be creating a line of outdoor wear for the aging punk rocker that still wants to go sit by a stream and have some waterproof Doc Martens and some like UV protected. I'm surprised there's not more UV protected stuff that's like that. This is a missed opportunity, I tell you. This is genius. Come back for more ideas later. All right, I'm gonna go do my hairs and I'm gonna go meet new people. I think we're gonna go for a little walk at Garden of the Gods before we go meet up, because the meetup's not till 1 and I want us to start getting out. Tell me about this idea that I have. I want us to, when I say us, me and the kids, I want us to start finding 2 new trails a week to go explore. I want us to go on 3 hikes a week, or walks. I'm not like a hike, like I'm not climbing a mountain, okay? But I like beauty and I like the nature of beauty. Who knows where this is gonna go? But I want us to go on 3 hikes or nature walks a week. And I want us to find 2 new ones, it's a cat, a week to go check out. And I know we're gonna run out of trails or whatever eventually, but, and then like the 3rd one, we can like choose one of our favorites to go repeat. Because I have been, especially over the last few months, we've kind of scaled back on our physicalness, our physical activities, and there's just been so much with the move and everything that I need to get us out again, moving our bodies. I can tell a difference just since March, April, May, June. It's amazing how in like just a couple months you're like, whoa, where did that? I mean, I had some cushiness, but I'm like, this is a little more than I remember. It's time to get things moving again. Let's eat a salad, Thor. Okay, I'll see you later. As I was blowing dry my hairs, I realized not only is the criticism of a person reflective of who they are and their insecurities, but also to put yourself in check when you start thinking criticisms of other people, like, whoa, where's that coming from? Why am I feeling, because everybody does it. I mean, let's be real. Everybody criticizes others. And so it's like, wait a minute, what is it in me that's feeling that sort of criticism towards that person? And where's that coming from? And is it good, bad, healthy? Because, sometimes criticism can be constructive. Anyway, food for thought.